Hi folks, welcome back to Lewis on Film. I am Lewis and today I am very excited to bring you a review I absolutely had to do. It is the recent release, which is now available on VOD, Wrong Turn, the reboot. So I absolutely had to do this one, absolutely had to, because I am a massive Wrong Turn fan. The original 2003 slasher, I absolutely loved it. I saw it twice in the cinema, I own it, I've seen it many times over the years. The older I get, I saw it when I was 18, when I was in that age where you kind of find the things that are going to latch onto you for forever. And at the time, Wrong Turn was one of my favourite horror films. So I'd watched all the Halloweens, I'd watched all the Friday 13th and all that. And Wrong Turn was my generation's that. If you like, or at least that's how I like to remember it. And so yeah, I was interested to know that this was coming out. I kind of thought, okay, is that a reboot? Is it a follow-on? Because the follow-ons that went straight to VOD of the original, which I am not a fan of, to be honest with you. I have seen a few of them. I haven't seen all of them. I couldn't watch them all because it tainted the waters of what Wrong Turn was to me. So to see this one come about was interesting, and obviously it was written by the same writer as the original, Alan B. McElroy, and yeah, I went into it kind of thinking to myself, is this going to be the leftovers from the ideas that he had for his Wrong Turn films? Maybe he wanted to do a sequel, the studio took it off him, they did their own sequel. Maybe he decided that he wanted to, he couldn't decide what idea he wanted to do, so he went down this path, but he was thinking, oh, maybe I could have gone down this path. Either way, it's a wrong turn. But so yeah, so that's why I needed to do this review, because I am a big fan of the original. So this version then, you're probably not going to be surprised to learn, group of friends out in the backwoods on a hiking, camping trip, whatever you want to say, and they're told by the locals, don't go off the path, don't stray off the path, and of course they inevitably do. It doesn't pretend to be anything else other than that premise right there. That's the selling point. That's what it is, and that's what happens. Of course, that's what happens, and things go from bad to worse to devastatingly horrible. Matthew Modine plays one of them's father, Charlotte Vega's father, and we see him at the beginning, and then it flashes back to the kids being in the woods, but we see him at the beginning looking for his daughter in the last place that she messaged him from, which is this town where they're staying, and they've gone. It's the nearest town to the woods that they've gone into, shall we say? And so obviously Matthew Modine, he's gone to find his daughter, and then when we do meet the kids, of course, as I've just said, they go off the wrong path, and they encounter a tribe of people who are dressed with antlers, skulls on their heads, and fur coats like it's fashionable. No, the the bear trap kind of fur coats, and sure enough, they clash. There's a culture clash, shall we say, to put it politely. As far as a rebooted horror film goes, I didn't have a problem with it overall. I think it's decent and kind of well done. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but I'm okay with the film just saying to myself, right, guys, look, here's a group of people, here's a backwoods group of villagers, whatever you want to say, and they've got some weapons. Things are going to go wrong. Enjoy it. That's absolutely fine, and it is enjoyable. there's a bit more of a political agenda to this film, which you kind of going to read into or you're not, but it is there. And again, like I say, I liked what they did with it, and there's an undercurrent that plays out quite nicely, and his just, like I said, a different approach to the Wrong Turn franchise. Like the first one was 100% a slasher film. This isn't. This is a bit different. So I did like that, and you don't go into films like this wanting great performances and Oscar contending performances and all that. You just want an enjoyable couple of hours, and if within a certain genre that you're allowed to have, there's a lot. And of course, it is rated 18 for violent imagery. You see very horrific kind of injury detail and stuff like that. So with that in mind, you're not gonna be disappointed if that's what you go in to get. You're just not, because the film isn't in any way original, but it's got a lot of references to other things. Obviously, Deliverance, the original Wrong Turn, of course, The Hills Have Eyes is in there, and you know what, they go into it knowing that the film isn't doing anything new, isn't treading any new, isn't making any waves in any way, shape or form, but they go into it to do something that's enjoyable, and they do a decent job of making it enjoyable, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. So I've got one more good that I want to point out, but I'm going to do the bad first because I want to say this last. So in terms of the bad then, so first of all, the film is a enjoyable horror romp. It isn't a scary, enjoyable horror romp. One of the things that I liked about the original Wrong Turn, and again, maybe because I was younger, maybe it was because of my age at the time and my situation at the time, but I found it jumpy and I found it exciting and riveting, and I really wanted it to carry on. So much was I enjoying it that I overlooked the flaws sort of the first few times I saw it, and I'm okay with that. Now that I'm older, emotionally, I don't mind a release of violence and gory horror images happening. And in this film, they don't really show it. They cut around it. Probably for budgetary reasons is the obvious answer. But yeah, it's quite annoying when that happens, especially given that the original Wrong Turn just didn't shy away from it at all. Which leads me to the main point here, which is that it isn't a Wrong Turn film. Like I said, I kind of wanted it to be maybe just the leftover ideas that McElroy had for the original film, and maybe he wanted to do more ideas. I don't think this is that. I think it is not a Wrong Turn movie, and to call it a Wrong Turn movie, it just seems incorrect. It seems like a money grabbing idea. Oh look, it's a reboot of Wrong Turn, even though it's a completely different idea. I think it's the same setting, but it's a different idea. So yeah, I wasn't okay with that, but to each their own on that one. So the other bad thing about it is that I think there's a political underlining in this film, and I don't think it's touched on enough. Now, I did say that the film doesn't try to be anything it's not, and that's fine, but I would have genuinely liked to maybe see this as a sort of mini-series, with all those ideas brought to fruition by somebody who knows how to do it. So if any of you executives are watching this, there's an idea there. Just go dive in. But with that said, and this brings me to my good, there's a terrific ending. And when actually, it's one of those things I can very easily say the best thing about this film is the end credits. And I don't mean that in the way that it sounds. I mean that the end shot that happens entirely over the credits is absolutely fantastic. Very haunting, very very interesting and sort of would have worked as a short film in a very real way. But the way it's done is worth sitting through the entire film, even if you're not enjoying the entire film, which is okay. Getting to the ending and seeing that is worth it. I was very surprised to see it end that way, and it's really good. I won't spoil it, but it's a terrific ending. So overall, look, I enjoyed it. It's not original. It doesn't pretend to be original. It doesn't pretend to be something it isn't, and it could have tried to be something it isn't very easily because, like I say, there is a political agenda and undercurrent in that film which just show that they could have grabbed onto and tried to run with. They don't, because they want the thrills and spills of the horror genre, and we do get that, but it's cut around. We don't see the violence on screen. We see it it happens off screen, and then we cut back to it in the aftermath. And yeah, the original One Turn didn't do that. It didn't have a problem with showing it, you know. But like I say, I did enjoy it. It is a fun film, and it doesn't do anything exceptionally well, but it delivers entertainment for a couple of hours quite well. So go on, enjoy it. It's not bad. Thank you very much, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Like I say, I had to do this one because I'm a big Wrong Turn fan. So see what you think. I'm interested to know. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.